Hello everybody, this is video 2 out of probably 3 of our de-stashing marathon. If you've never been around here before, my name is Elisa and I have this series on my channel where I try to get through as many of my fabrics that are currently in my stash as possible. I do have a bit of a fabric addiction, so I don't see the series ending anytime soon. My current objective is to get through as many summer prints that I have stacked up on in the last couple of months before I go on my summer break, which is now 2 weeks away. Last time I made this beautiful red picnic dress with this peak neckline and I'm super proud of it. This week we're gonna get going with a skirt and the top that I'm wearing right now, but I don't want to give away the whole thing, so let's get into it. Alright, just to fill you back in, last time we actually created a mood board with 7 different looks on it, and we already made this first sundress that we wanted to make. Now this time around I'm going to focus on this look, which consists of a voluminous white skirt and a black top. I hate to be the person that talks about the weather, but we've had a pretty crappy spring so far here in the UK, and I mean crappy. It was extremely cold and rainy all the time. I could barely wear skirts, that's how cold it was. I woke up today and I looked outside and it is blue skies. There isn't a cloud in the sky. It is beautiful and warm, and then I looked at my weather app and it's gonna stay like this the entirety of next week, and it's gonna be hot, as in like over 20 degrees. So gird your loins, this is not a drill. Summer is coming, which means that I have to get a move on and work through all of these fabrics, which by the way I've added 3 more to the stash since we spoke last. Yes, I'm a maniac, I know. What are we working on today? This is my fabric of choice for today, and the inspo is this, as you might recall. The question is, it's a big voluminous midi skirt, but what is the pattern actually going to look like? And I had a bit of a think, and I considered for a minute, because we do have this grid embroidery on the fabric that makes it look a little bit like a tablecloth, that a tiered skirt would be a good option. However, I kind of want to try to keep it as simple as possible and not have too many pattern pieces, because I think that would disturb this beautiful embroidery. So I'm considering trying to get as big of a circle out of this as I possibly can. I perchance bought half a meter too little for this plan, but I think I have an idea. Okay, so I'm just quickly measuring how much fabric I have exactly. This is from Fabric Godmother, and sometimes they send a little more, which is nice, just like a couple centimeters, and I need to know exactly how much I have. So I'm just measuring the selvage of my fabric. I think we have 164 by 2. How much is that? That's 328. It is indeed 328. What I like to do is, because obviously we're working with a big perimeter of fabric, and I don't want to, like, you know, mess something up, I just pull up Illustrator and play around with what I have. So I just create a box that is exactly the size of the fabric, and then have a play and understand the proportions that the skirt could have. Right, so just to explain, I can get 3 of these skirt panels out of the amount of fabric that I have, which would give me, I guess that's what it would be, a 3/4 circle skirt, which is quite voluminous. It's not quite a full circle skirt, but I think that it will look nice and kind of resemble what I'm going for. We did it, we got skirt panels. So now what I'm gonna do is I'll sew this one continuous piece, because there's a fold for this one, to the 2 sides of the other piece, and then I'll decide which is front and which is back. It would be kind of nice to have the diagonal in the front, just because I think that would look good. So let's see how we're gonna put this together. And we have some remnants that we could do something with. Alright, so we obviously have some transparent material that we're working with, which means we need some lining. And I thought I had needed to go out to get lining. However, I then had a look in my stash, as one should do, and discovered that I have this lycra material right here, which you would usually use for anything sports related. Now, I realized after I bought it that it has a quite nasty yellow tinge to it that I really do not appreciate, but it's super nice to the touch and it feels very comfortable. Also, it is slick, which I think works well for the cotton because it can just glide off it and it doesn't get stuck. So these two materials together, I think, could make for a very nice experience when wearing the skirt. This embroidery over this slightly yellow tinged fabric kind of like cancels out the yellowness. So I think this is what I'm gonna use for the lining. Just straight up scuba. In the spirit of destashing, I'll try use this and see what happens. I think I'm not gonna go all the way down to the hem of the skirt. I'm gonna make it shorter to give it kind of a two-tone feeling. And I'm only gonna do a half circle skirt for the lining. It doesn't have to have as much volume as the shell. You feel me? So let's cut. All the layers are cut, which means we can assemble the skirt. Now I hear you say, but Elisa, where are the pockets? Or at least that's what the little voice in my head says. Because this is transparent material and because of the way I've cut my panels, I think it might not be the best idea to try and have pockets. It's probably not going to look very good. Also, the material is so fickle and kind of like whimsy. I'm afraid that if I have an area of friction like a pocket would be where I put my hands in and out all the time, it's not going to look very nice. So I'm gonna forfeit pockets this time. All right, my serger is threaded. My machine is ready to go. Now we need to pin and sew these panels, and the important thing is that we make sure that we have the right sides facing, because there are right sides with this embroidery. All right, so we've got both the skirt layers done. We have the shell and we have the lining sewn together, and I decided that I'm gonna have the bias on the front because it looks cute. Now we also need a waistband. So I just fetched the remnants of my fabric and I'm gonna try and find a straight piece somewhere that I can use. All right, I did a little shop-a-roo, and I got a bunch of things that I needed, not necessarily for this project, but just generally. Okay, I think that's everything. Right, so let's remove the things we do not need right now. I also got, finally, a loop turner. After 4 years of YouTube and 10 years of sewing, I have finally managed to get myself one of the most essential things, so I can probably get rid of that chopstick. I have 2 different types of elastic, and I think I'll go with the taller one, the 32 mil. And the first thing I need to do is to wrap it around my waist and fit it. Should be comfy. Okay, that's the length we need. I am going to sew this together, and I'm then going to fit it into the waistband before I attach the waistband to the skirt. All right, we have ourselves a waistband that is already covered in the shell material. Amazing. And now we just need to put everything together. The waistband is on. I've tried it. It looks great. Now I'm just going to serge that raw edge in here, and then I'm going to finish my hem by serging it and folding it over by a tiny amount, just like maybe that much, and then we're done. Okay, hear me out. We have ourselves a skirt. It's adorable. I love it. I love everything about it. The length is great. The drape is great. The fabric is great. Now, a skirt is not an outfit, and we need a top to wear with this. Now, I obviously have a bunch of tops that I could wear with this, but I also have this black scrap linen piece right here, which is literally a scrap. I just wrapped it around me to see what it looks like. And I'm actually right now contemplating making a top out of it that looks exactly like this. That looks like I just took a scarf and tied it around my bust. That's exactly what I want. So let's see if we can scrap bust this piece and make something beautiful out of it. Okay, so we have, this is what's left. I almost used everything. Now we have the triangular shape that's cut on the bias. We have a little flippy flop, what would you call that? It's like a lapel almost, that is going to fold over and kind of give us a little bit more volume in the bust area. Then we have 4 layers of these here, which are going to be the ties that hold it all together in the back. And then we have 2 straps cut on the bias, which I'm gonna plop onto this somewhere so I can tie it up in the neck so it holds up the top, because this is quite it's not a lot of fabric. So let's see if when we sew this together we have something that looks nice. Just switched everything to white. Now I can all swap it back to black again. Everything has changed. And now I have actually remnants of this lace right here, and I figured, what if I added that as a trim around the rectangle like this? Would that look cute? It would certainly extend the rectangle a little bit, which I think I would appreciate, so it's not like just too tiny. But then is it too much with the lace of the skirt, since we plan on wearing this as an outfit? What does that look like? Is that good? Is that not good? I'm gonna serge around the rectangle first. Looks so clean and tidy. Then we are going to overturn this bit. Now I'm going to take this to my iron this part, and then also overturn this part so I have a nice clean edge back here. Oh, my beloved chopstick, they could never make me hate you. Alright, so now we've got these parts done. I will eventually put this left on right or right on left, and then overturn this top edge with this fold over. But before I do that, I'm going to sew and overturn my back straps, because I don't yet know exactly where I'm going to place these. I think I will have to match them up with the triangle here. Alright, here we've got our back straps. Let's see. We are probably just gonna plop them on here when we meet the edge of the triangle, so to speak. I guess that's how we would do this. So let's just sew it on. We have a base. We have a base. Now let's take the flappy flap and place it from the back to the front. I'm gonna cut back these edges right here and then pin that onto the flap. Alright, let's sew this attached. Alright, so we basically have a top now. Might be hard for you to see because it's all black, but there's this flap attached. And it looks like this on the back with a little bow. Now I'm gonna attach my neck straps, and then we'll see. I'm really excited about this. This could change my life, honestly. Linen is so hard to overturn, and this baby did it, so life has changed. Alright, I just fixed the insertion of the back straps, so it's now overturned and the ugly bit is inside, so that looks better on the back as well, hopefully. Straps are in, and I have decided the lace goes on. Of course it does. How could I ever question putting this on? There is a right and a wrong side to this, I believe, but I don't know which it is. I think this is the right side. Okay, so how long is this? Does this fit on here? If this is the tip. Yeah. Nice, perfect, perfecto. Okay, we somehow need to make this the perfect angle to go on here. So let's see if we can make this happen.
My heart is beating like crazy, does it all to a tune of its own. Truth, I don't know if I can get a hold on me and I lose control. feeling like free when I lose my hope. It feels like gold.
Alright, today we're going to continue our quest of narrowing down and reducing our fabric stash. You can see this fabric right here behind me. That's my fabric of choice for today. What are we gonna make? Well, if we look at the inspo board that we made last time, we have this beautiful sheared bodice right here. And we're gonna make a few sheared dresses in this destashing series, but today I want to go for something super classic, something that I can see myself wearing on a daily basis when it's hot like it is right now. So what I'm gonna do is, we have fabric here that is a stretch cotton, and it is 115 centimeters wide. I'm gonna utilize that width and use that for my bodice. So I'm just gonna cut a rectangle from this fabric that is 115 wide and 45 tall. I'm gonna shear that down, and I'm going to create a full circle skirt with 115 centimeter waist opening that I can then attach to that sheared bodice, and that's gonna allow me to step into the dress from the ground, which is what I want. Since we're not gonna have a zipper or any type of buttons, we just want the dress to be as flexible as possible. Should those 115 centimeters be not enough or too much, we can still take it in or add a little something to make it wider or smaller. I'm also gonna add tiny little spaghetti straps like the ones right here to the dress, since I now have a loop turner. 3 years into my YouTube journey and I finally have a loop turner. And the dress is obviously gonna have pockets because pockets are life. That is the plan. Let's get to cutting our pieces. These are all of our pattern pieces. We have, like I mentioned, a rectangle that is 115 wide and about 43 tall. Then we have 2 bias cut straps. We have 4 pocket layers, and we have a now half circle skirt. I actually had a little less fabric than I thought, and it's a little folk hila style, so it's shorter in the front than in the back, and I think actually that could look quite cute. So my first step is going to be to insert the pockets into the side seams and sew together the skirt, and then gather up the skirt waist to fit it to the bodice. All right, let's start with one side. This is my back side, this is my front side. 1 layer of pocket on each. Right side's touching, 1 centimeter short from the waist seam, and we're ready to rumble. Perfect. Skirt is prepped. Now I'm gonna have lunch, and then I'll attach it to the bodice before we shear the bodice. So to prep the bodice, I'm gonna fold over the top section about 2 centimeters and stitch that down, because that's gonna later give me a nice little ruffle that is gonna add a nice touch to the bodice. So that's the top prepared. I'm very ironing lazy today because it's quite warm already and I don't want to heat up my room. So normally I would go and press this now, but I'm trying to avoid it. So I'm just finding my center front notch. And then I try and place that right side's touching with the center front notch of my skirt. And then let's see if the two match up or if we have to do some tweaking. Okay, that's gonna be a drop waist dress and I'm not too mad about it. I'm now going to attach this with a few stitches. So, quickly giving you the lay of the land as to where we are right now. We have the dress assembled, so you can see the rectangle that is the bodice. We have our pockets inserted right here, quite hidden away, and we have a skirt that is longer in the back than in the front, which was a decision I made while cutting. And now I am ready to shear down the bodice, and this is going to take me a while, so I'm going to put on a TV show and pray that this is going to be over fast.
sit beside you while you're going on about your simple life. Nothing left you
last step.
thinking that
Just
maybe you're
popping
not
on the straps,
different.
and then we're done.
Go on, blow up your ego, your ego, your undenying, undying ego. Oh, look here he goes, stepping on toes with his humble lacking, everlasting ego. I guess it never.
Today I'm gonna start working on the Rixo dupe. We are going to use this beautiful satin right here that I got from Fabric Godmother. My neighbors have a toddler right now and it cries all the time.
You're all alone. Hold up, baby. I can sit beside you while you're going on about your simple life. Nothing left you thinking that maybe you're not different.